Hey everyone, Sam Mackay here. What I thought I would do is walk through a real life scenario where you might find yourself in a similar situation where you're asked for something by a stakeholder and you need to create an answer and a report really quickly based on what they've asked for. And this is exactly what our Power BI Accelerator initiative inside of our community is all about. Now, in this particular accelerator, we're on the first iteration of this, and Brian, our chief content officer at Enterprise DNA, has created a scenario where you can really put your analytical skills to use. Right? It's all, with Power BI, a lot of the mastery comes in understanding how you can apply certain techniques to different environments, different scenarios. And what I thought I would do to really kickstart the accelerator for my own revision and learning is actually just on a call while I'm recording, just actually work through the problem. I have actually, before this call, I have not actually really looked at this before. I just thought, hey, I'll just push record and we'll see how this turns out, and you can sort of work through my own logic, how I actually think about these things and actually work them out. So here's the brief for the actual problem. Okay, so we have a boss comes in to the office on Monday, looks stressed, then tells you what we have the opportunity that we have the opportunity to acquire a main competitor, and the CEO wants a briefing for close of business to answer the following questions. What were the highest and lowest sales in a given year? In what states were their sales high and low? How many sales did they make in the top 5 products each quarter? And who were their top 10 salespeople in any given year? Okay, so just by looking at this, and what I'll do, I'll actually just zoom in so you can see it a little bit better as well. Just looking at this, I already know that there's going to be some ranking type formula in here. And to be honest, the ranking formula is going to be pretty similar for all of these requirements. We're asking for the highest or lowest. And all we're going to do is really just change the context in a lot of cases. We might need to change around a few different things, but definitely possible. And what we've got as well is a bit of a mock-up around what the stakeholder wants to see. Okay, so this is very real world if you think about it, and is going to be some sort of a common occurrence out there. You get a quick request and you got to throw something together, and you might have a bit of a mock-up, a bit of an outline, and then you got to actually put the logic into Power BI, and that is, this is great. This is exactly what we want our accelerator to be all about. So definitely jump in and get involved. Now I just took an image of these questions on the side so I can actually have a look at them on my other screen, and then I'm going to build away. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new measured table here, because the model, which is what's great about this initiative as well, is we're trying to make it as easy as possible. So the model has already been built for you. Literally all you need to do is think about the logic that you can add in. Okay, so I'm just going to add my key measures table here. And then we've got to make a decision if we want to use rank X or TOPN. These are the two main functions that you'll find you might use here. Okay, so what were the highest and lowest sales in a given year? Now, this is an interesting one because we want to, it's actually not that clear in terms of what are we trying to find the highest and lowest sales in? Like, is it the month, for example? But what we've got here is in the mock-up we can kind of have a look. So this is the sales per month, and honestly, based on this question and based on that image, based on the mock-up, do we really? I mean, really, we're just looking at the sales, right? So let's just quickly figure out where the sales are hidden in our data set. So we've got, it looks like line sales is our revenue column. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a new measure. Okay, and then I'm going to go, I'm just going to call this one total sales. So this is just going to be very simple, right? I'm just going to do a simple sum of the line sales column. Okay, simple sum, and that's going to get me going, right? So I can just get rid of this particular column because I don't need it, and make sure that this turns into a measure group. And also I could clean up this model a little bit. Like, I know that I'm not going to actually use this in my answer here, so I'm just going to hide it just to clean this up a little bit more. Okay, cool. So now that I've got this here, I know that I've got my date table all lined up in my model, so that's all good. Always need a date table. And then what I can do here is start creating this as a visualization. So I know I want to turn this into a line chart, and then I'm going to grab my total sales and drag it into the values area. Okay, so to me though, this is too busy, right? So what we need to do is we need to actually get the month and year. So the month and year is going to enable us to see this a little bit more clearly, and it'll be more like the mock-up, right? So I'm just changing the context here. Now the other thing that isn't right here just yet is that the sorting is going from highest to lowest, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure we're sorted by month and year, and let's just make sure, okay, so this is not actually sorted correctly. So what I need to do is I need to come to my date table. I need to find my month and year column, and then there's going to be a supporting column called month and year, I would suggest. And remember, you can get this particular code to create this date table from the forum or from the analyst hub, so definitely check that out. Okay, so let's just, okay, so this is looking better now. Okay, this is more like what we needed in the mock-up. Now the only other thing I probably should do here is this. We want to actually create a filter for the years, right? Because we want to be able to break down by year. So I'm going to come up here and create a slicer. Create a slicer like so. But what we want to do is we want a list. Okay, so I created a list, and then I'm going to just turn this into a horizontal as well, just to get it to look a little bit better. Okay, and now I can put this up the top here. Now we can clean these all up in a little bit, but for now, let's just mock it up, and we'll clean up the actual look of it in a second. Okay, so that's looking a lot better. Okay, so what are some of the other questions we need to figure out? Okay, so the next one is in what states are their sales high or low? Okay, so let's just get our states into a table and then have a look at the data that we've got. Okay, so we've got in the locations here. In locations, we've got, we'll go state. Okay, let's go state. And I'll turn it into a table. So I always turn things into a table because that's essential to really be able to see what results you're actually getting. And so I could put my total sales in here just to have a look at it. Maybe what I want to do just quickly is come up and I want to click on that, and then I want to change the format of this. Cool. Okay. Now, I mean, one like I didn't even actually need a ranking. I mean, I could do a ranking here. But I don't think it's actually going to really matter for me to actually show this in a visualization. So, because I could, in terms of like in what states were sales high or low, I mean, I could just like literally do this. Like I could turn it into something like this. I could even turn it into like a not a shape map, but more like a world visual. Oh, a shape map would work as well. And so you see there that I can kind of see the high and lows that way as well. And so this to me is like, very much an easy solution also. But we could also do a donut chart if we really wanted to as well. I mean, there's lots of ways to show that it's high low. I don't even have to use a ranking formula at all, which is pretty great, really, if you think about it inside of Power BI. So hopefully you're seeing like this is actually not the most difficult. So far it's not the most difficult solution we've worked through, right? But that's there's so many beginners out there. That's what this accelerator initiative is really targeted at. We want to really get everyone's analytical thinking going and showing how quickly you can actually solve some of these things in Power BI. And actually participating in a real project is going to really help you a lot. Okay, so how many sales did they make of their top 5 products each quarter. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So what we want to do here is we want to have a look. Well, let's have a look at what the mock-up is asking us for. So we need to basically figure out what are our top 5 products. And it's here, it's got a little bit more, and we want to see, okay, how many sales did they make in each different quarter here. Okay, that one is a little bit tougher, but definitely doable. Okay, so what we first want to do for this one, we can change this in a second, but what we first want to do is grab the quarter and year. Okay, so I'm just going to find the quarter and year. My quarter and year, I'm going to bring it in. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my total sales in for each different quarter. But what we really need to do is we need to actually have a look at, you know, our products as well. We need to have a look at our products and sort of see, okay, well, who is the top ranked products? What are the top ranked products here? Okay, so I'm going to find my products dimension as well. And I'm going to filter, I'm going to sort that. Okay, so our top 5 products are this basically. Okay, so our top 5 products are 63, 28, 51, 67, 34. Okay, so what I need to do, what I really need to do is I need to isolate these top 5 products based on what it's asking. And then I need to basically sum up how, so we've got our total sales here, but we want to compare it to what were the sales of just their top 5 products. Okay, so this is what we need to do, that we need to use a function called TOPN. So let's just do a little bit of testing here. Okay, so I'm going to go and add a formula here. I can actually blow this up a little bit. Top 5 products, product sales. Okay, now I want to use calculate here because calculate enables me to still calculate up total, is it total sales it should be. Total sales, okay. Then within calculate, because what I want to do is I want to change the context within my calculate function. Okay, I'm going to use a function called TOPN. I'm going to say 5. Okay, but this is where it gets a little bit trickier, is that we need to, and this is where it's a little bit ambiguous actually, because are we looking at the top 5 products on a yearly basis, or are we looking at the top 5 products for each different quarter? Well, if I look at this question, to me, that is saying, okay, what were the top 5 products each quarter and what were their sales? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, okay, I want to have a look at all of my products. I'm going to put my products table in here, okay, and then I'm going to order in it descending, so highest to lowest. Oh, actually, no, this needs to be total sales, I'm sorry, and then I want to go descending, okay. So basically what this is going to do is for each different quarter here, it's going to rank them from top to bottom, and it's going to then say, okay, only bring me the context of the top 5, so the top 5 products based on total sales, and then return those sales. Okay, so if I bring this into my table here, we can see, and if I just update the formatting here, we can see that 450,000 of quarter 1 was from top 5. Now to double check this, what we probably need to do is this. Okay, so let's just click on a quarter. Okay, and then let's just scan down here, because you've got to remember that the product's going to change for every single quarter, and that is the key difference in this particular formula. Okay, is that we're not looking at the top 5 products over a year, we're looking at the top 5 products in each individual quarter, and those products can change. Okay, so 430, let's just scan this. So that's 210, 220-ish, 220-ish plus, what's that? That's another 220-ish or 210. And that's, okay, so 430, yes. Okay, so it looks about right to me. Definitely looks about right to me. Okay, but then what's cool if we want to just add a little bit more to this is we could say, okay, top 5 versus all sales, okay? And then we could say divide top 5 by total sales. And then we'll just go 0 here. And to me, this is a good way to represent this insight. Okay, and I'll bring this in. Oh, I did the wrong one, I'm sorry. That was meant to be stay as a currency. This needs to be a percentage. Okay, so this to me looks like a pretty good insight, right? Top 5 product sales, top 5 versus all sales. Okay, hopefully I explained that pretty clearly. Okay, so who were the top 10 salespeople in any given year, and what was their dollar value of sales? Okay, so this is another interesting one. So let's dive into salespeople. Okay. And then all we need to really do against this is bring in our total sales, and this gives us a start. Okay, so in any given year is going to be taken care of by what we've got up here, so don't need to do anything there. And so we can always see what our top 10 is here, right? But if we wanted to just return just the top 10, here is a way that you can do it. Okay, first of all, you need to use a function. You can use the function. There's actually a couple of ways you can do this, but I'll show you one of the more simpler ways, I think. Simpler ways to understand is, first of all, you need to create a ranking. So I'm going to say top 10 salespeople. Okay, and I'm going to go rank X. Okay, and this is a little trick, is you need to go all salespeople. So you need to actually remove all context from the salespeople column so that we can rank the sales against every single different salesperson. Then I'm going to go total sales here. I don't need a value. And then I'm going to go descending. Okay. So if we just start off with this, I can then bring in the rank X into here, and now I've got the ranking. So all I need to do from here is I can go if rank X, right? If rank X is less than or equal to 10, then return the total sales. If not, equal to blank. Okay, and then go okay. And now I'm going to get just the top 10 and everything else is going to be blank, right? Then all I need to do is change this to a currency. Right? And then now if I get rid of this total sales here, if I get rid of that and I turn this into a visualization, and I would generally use a visualization like this, that's always going to dynamically return the top 10 for me. Okay, so if we change this, we're only going to see the top 10. We change this, we're only going to see the top 10. Okay, so let's clean things up a little bit here. So I want to show you a couple of tricks that I use a little bit now. I'm going to turn this to white. So I really like the dark and white contrast. Okay, and I always get rid of the word wrap. Or the titles on the axis. Sorry, I definitely hate word wrap as well. Okay, so title. Let's make this white as well. Okay, and then what I can do very quickly here is I can go, what I like to do is I go format painter when I'm selected on that, and I'm going to just select around here and see if it can just change all those like core things. And then I'll just change this as well. I might have to do a little bit of more work to this, I think. And then I'll go the values here as well. And maybe the total, I'll make this a different color slightly. And then do we need, yes, there's a few different things you could do there. Here is what I would do here. I would change this into a bar chart, because a line chart to me isn't the greatest representation of over time. And then I always like to, wherever possible, like add data labels. To me, it always makes sense if we can do that and then remove the axis. To me, that's just a little bit cleaner. One thing that we could definitely also do is we could create some logic and really highlight like the top sales and the low sales. And I might actually do that. We might actually do that. And then what I think we could also do down here is we could definitely we want to keep that. We'll add data labels to here for sure, and then we'll put them inside end. We want some different colors here, so we'll keep it similar. Probably just different shade, I think. And here we probably need to just make this a little bit darker, I think. Yep. Okay. Up here we need to change this as well. So, and we want to make sure that this sort of aligns with our color scheme as well. And then usually I don't use a slider here because it's quite obvious. And then what I might do is come in here and go text box, and then I'll go select the year, select the year relevant for your analysis, something like that. Okay, and then I'll just get these all these things lined up, change it to white. And get rid of the background. I think that just looks a little bit cleaner. Okay. Then what can we do here? Now, to me, the map is not the greatest, honestly. So, like, if I go map here, I don't love that. I don't love it that much. I mean, what we could do is we could change a few things here. Map styles, and there is actually a darker one that you can select, which might look a little bit better in this sort of contrast. Potentially, if we use the map bubbles a little bit more, make them a little bit bigger, that could possibly work for us. And then let's just map styles. Maybe if we actually put some category labels on here. Then we might have to change a few things around, but I wonder if we can get a little bit more in terms of the map controls. So there's probably a few other things we can do here. But yeah, I mean, I think this actually doesn't look too bad. So what I could probably do here is maybe add this up. Maybe we actually want to put our total sales by date up here, and we'll put this down here. And then we can just rework this table a touch. And that kind of shows you in a little bit, yeah. And if you think about it, like you can select in New York here, and then that's going to change the context quite well, isn't it? So maybe that's a better way to actually format this. I'm going to use my edit interactions just quickly here as well, so we can actually just make sure this works for the different selections that we make, and that is, so that's great. So all the formulas are working as they should be. Now, okay, so how can we represent this data a little bit differently? So do we need to know the sales by quarter? Probably not. Do we need to know the, we can probably actually get rid of that as well. So what we possibly can do here is just have a nice little table like this. Maybe we can have two. We could have two tables. So we could have one table like this. I'm just going to copy it. Get rid of that. Copy the table, and then change the inside of there. Like so. Just extend that out a little bit. Okay, so to me this is actually starting to look quite good, really. And there's a few additions we can make, but I think I might round things off there. But hopefully you've enjoyed me working through this. Like already we have a very dynamic report here based on the content that was produced in the accelerator. And to be honest, like when we work through these questions, they weren't, hopefully you can get into your mind that these are not super difficult. It's just about, again, like I mentioned at the start, it's like pulling the right techniques from the right from your memory bank when a particular question is asked. And once you're familiar with all the different options, you'll be quite amazed at how quickly you can actually bring things together. Okay, so I'm going to round this off. I look forward to posting this solution inside of the accelerator. I'm not sure if we'll actually post this video before the accelerator ends, just because it might. It really gives you the answers, doesn't it? So we'll make sure that that we probably wait a little bit before this comes out. But hopefully, you saw the accelerator, got involved, and also watch out for the next ones. This is a unique initiative just to Enterprise DNA. And what we also have off the back of these accelerators is we have a training workshop by like every fortnight that anyone can attend, and we can discuss collaboratively on a I think we're going to make it on a Zoom call or a collaborative call where we can really discuss how we went about this, the logic, and then also just make sure those who are just starting out and getting familiar with all of these techniques and all of these different ways that you can develop inside of Power BI are becoming really well versed in different ways that you can actually solve solutions. And then hopefully you can apply those really effectively into other things that you might be working on. Okay, take care everyone. Look forward to next time. All the very best, and talk to you soon.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Enterprise DNA TV. If you enjoyed the content covered in this particular tutorial, please throw the video a like. It really helps us and we really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Enterprise DNA TV channel. We have a huge amount of content coming out all the time from myself and a range of content creators, all dedicated to improving the way that you use Power BI and the Power Platform. Lastly, check out Enterprise DNA's website, plenty of resources and further learning that you can access very easily. All the best. Take care.